what made you say, man, I thought being a Christian would make things easier?
Well, you know, I didn't grow up in the church, so I didn't really have any perspective or picture of what it meant to be a Christian. And so when I was like 19 and I ran into a group of Christians and I didn't have a car, they had cars. I was like, oh man, if you come to Jesus, you get a car. They probably don't have to worry about nothing and everything's just beautiful. So I just thought that was like how life was. And then when I actually became a Christian, I just felt so much peace inside and joy. I was like, oh, I feel like this all the time. This is amazing, you know what I mean? And I just thought there would never be any problems and it would just be all just roses and happy days all the time. So it's like that. It still is like that sometimes, but it's not like that all the time. So,
Yeah. Well, thank you, Lecrae. Let's go to RG. Make some noise for RG. All right. If you're from Mexico, make some noise, man. One for the body. So, RG, you labeled your album Raul.
Yes.
Why?
Sí, porque mi primer nombre es Raúl y mi papá se llama Raúl. That's correct. So it's my first name, and when I did this project, it's actually my dad's name as well. And on this project, I just speak on. My dad got deported when I was 16, and I just speak on that and how it affected me, my family, my faith, and you know, I just felt like it was a moment to be transparent and be myself, you know, not just this like everything's perfect version of myself, but also allow people to see the hurt and the pain, and I think that can bring healing to people as well. So, it's Raul.
Thank you. I feel that a lot. Andy Mineo. You got 2 microphones, okay. In one of your songs, you talk about being hellish and divine. You know, what does that mean? You know?
Alright. I know where you're going with this. He was there when I got an email from a guy who was like, you committed heresy in your song at this moment. Okay. What, you want me to answer that? Like,
I want you to answer that question, okay?
Yeah, so when you're creating art, there's this thing called interpretation, creative license, poetry, symbolism, and I think sometimes we get in trouble when people want to take everything that you say poetically, they want to take it literal, and I think that's unfair to artists, and yeah, so basically this guy was like, Andy, you said you were divine, and I was like, yeah, okay, I did. But if you take it literal, that means then the following line, I'm trellis and divine, you're saying I'm a plant, okay? You can't take the whole thing literal if you understand the poetry of what I'm saying. I'm hellish and divine, I'm trellis and divine, I'm telling me I'm fine, but I know better. It's just talking about the tension. Earlier in the verse I said, son of man or son of Sam, I'm somewhere in between the two, between the two, right? It's like just talking about the tension of feeling the parts of you that are still wicked and sinful and broken, and still feeling the parts that have been redeemed by God, and feeling the tension of that and how that can create a lack of clarity. Like, dang, if Jesus is real and he's changed me, like how come there's still all these broken parts of me? And I talked about it in the record, like I want clarity, but I realized like even the people I looked up to and how they failed made me feel so terrible. I realized like well, who am I to judge, because I'm just as broken as them. So that's why Jesus tells us to follow him, not people who say that they follow him.
Man, I'm so glad I asked that question. Okay, I want to have a piggyback moment. Okay. Let's have a piggyback moment. Speaking about brokenness, Trip, in your book, you write that scars are the evidence that wounds can heal. Okay? And I want to know, I want to know like a scar besides the one of the guys hiding the microphone from you. Can you share with us a scar that has been proof of that? You know.
Two things. You came prepared today, Ray.
Come on.
Make some noise for Ray Rock holding it down.
Secondly, I just wanted to acknowledge a late addition to our queue today. Y'all make some noise for Wine Day. Scars. For me, one of those would be an illness that I've had for the past 12 years. It's been the hardest part of every area of my life. For the past 12 years, it's been the hardest part of my work life, hardest part of my spiritual life, hardest part of my marriage, hardest part of parenting, because it's an illness in my body that keeps me from my body ever feeling rested. Can't remember last time I felt rested, so I'm not, I had this illness that's been really difficult, and for me, one of the wrestles for me is, do I just kind of endure this and just kind of take the suffering and just kind of drag myself from day to day, or if what the scripture says is true and God wants to use trials in our life to make us more like Him, to develop things in us, then I should actually try to endure these things in a way I'm made more like Him. I should be striving to trust Him more. I should be striving to see my weakness more. And the Bible's really clear that, the weakness, the true strength comes through weakness, because that's when God's power shows up and God's power rests on us. And anytime we don't see ourselves as weak, it's not because we're not weak. It's just because we're under the illusion that we actually have strength. For someone like me, I have an illness. My weakness is always right in front of my face, and so God hasn't given me the opportunity to pretend like I'm strong enough to do this on my own. And so I want to lean into that and depend on Him.
Beautiful. Thank you, guys. We got a question for Gabi, so if we can get the microphone to Gabi, please.
From when you first signed to Reach, you had a totally different sound than what you have now. You've grown so much. But my favorite, one of your projects was The Hues. And my favorite song of all time, like not joking, is Don't Have to Feel Sorry. How did you come to do that song?
Yeah, what's up, you guys? How you guys doing? Don't Have to Feel Sorry. So it was a guy named Darius Saffron and John Gibbs. They were featured on that song. When I first started, I've always been a music producer for all the guys here on this stage. And when I became an artist, I didn't know exactly what it meant to be an artist yet. So I was finding myself a lot by just creating songs. And what I knew what to do best was creating beats and formulating song structures and having an ear of what a hook should sound like. So I got this guy named Darius Saffron and John Gibbs on the song. I'm not vocally on the song, just produced it. And that song was super fire to me. I loved it. What was the question again?
How did I inspire? What inspired the concept of the song?
Sorry. That's embarrassing.
It's all right, baby. It's all right, baby.
Somebody feed this man.
How did I come to make the song? I produced it at Reach Records, and then I flew all the way to St. Louis, where the guy Darius Saffron was from. And then I sent it off to John Gibbs. John Gibbs from California here. And I was just a fan of their art, and I felt like we all related on this one topic as far as don't having to feel sorry, just moving forward with a lot of things in your life.
All right. Thank you so much. We have a question for Tadashi, who's playing. All right. Sir, what's your name?
Israel, I'm 9 years old. Tadashi, why did you become a rapper?
Israel, you're awesome. My son is not too, man. We gotta hang out, play that. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, man, I became a rapper because I realized the way God could use this to further the message of what we all believe, right? When I was in college, a place that you'll get to at some point soon, crazy giving out scholarships too. You read a book and write a paper. Does it 5 times a year, you're gonna get one. But honestly, like I got to college and a friend of mine challenged me to write a song about God. And then I did that, and then he challenged me to do that song in a talent show. And I did that. And I didn't win the talent show. But what I did was bring about distinction for myself. And on campus, everybody would come up and go, hey, you're the guy that loves God, right? Because anybody that get on stage and rap for Jesus, you gotta love God, right? And I was like, yeah, I guess. But it gave me the chance to talk to people, to share the gospel of Jesus, to encourage people who were sad or who were going through hard times. And I realized God could use this for way more than my popularity or my fame or anything like that. And so that's why I started rapping, man.
Sweet, thank you, man. All right, this question goes for the man, the myth, the legend, K to the single letter. Sir, state your name.
My name is Manny.
And your question, be brief.
All right, so KB, question. So I gotta admit, that song you mixed with Oceans was crazy. I just wanna ask, what was going through your head, to producing the song, or thinking about making this song and just the lyrics behind it, the message behind it? Because it was one of my favorites on that album. So that's the question right there.
Yeah. Good question, brother. For one, Ty Shane is a producer that's made stuff for pretty much everybody up here. It was actually his idea. So he had this long, strange story about how the song came to him. He was locked in a studio for 6 hours, and the spirit descended on the room and some other stuff that I don't know I believe. And so he put the song, he kind of presented to us, and then I got it. I just saw it as, one, worship is a part of who I am. I literally listen to this type of music, and I drive around. I remember, living in the hood, pulling up, listening to Mary Mary, and and then I got introduced to some of the CCM culture, like David Crowder and those guys. I like that type of music. It stirs my affection for the Lord. So that was easy for me. And then I also wanted to make a song that reminded us that walking with Jesus has joy before us. We're looking towards something that is coming. But while we are here, there will be suffering. There will be hardship. And that isn't sexy. Nobody gets excited about pain. But God is so amazing that He uses pain as a tool to bring about the best things in our lives. And I wanted to make a song that celebrated that both.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. We got a question for Juan Defoe.
It got me produced on that song as well. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Got a question for Juan Defoe. You saw what I did there? I put wonderful and Juan Defoe. You see that? All right. Question.
Well, first of all, congratulations on everything for you. So what has been the best part for this new chapter in your life, and what are you looking forward to most in your career going forward?
Great question.
I think the best part has been, I think Reach as a label is a really unique experience because you're surrounded by all these people. As you can see, they're full of knowledge. It's great. And I think it's just a great opportunity just to grow as an artist. So I think I'm just looking forward to being able to just expand my artistry to the next level and just see what I'm capable of that I didn't even realize that I'm capable of. And then I'm just excited of being able to have a platform where I can share this on a mass level and be able to use my influence to just influence other people to pursue Christ and have faith.
Beautiful. All right. Sir Big Man, Mr. Kill Me With One Punch. Your question.
My quick question. Before I get y'all your question, man, may the Lord continue to bless y'all and what y'all do, man. Y'all been people spirits, man.
Amen.
When is the next 116? next album? When is the next collaboration?
Yeah. That's a great question. Oh, we're gonna give the mic to the top. Yes, Lecrae.
What season is this? Is it summer? What year is this? Did we do something in summer 18? I think we did in summer. We did play this in summer 18, so we gotta do something better in summer 19 then. I guess we need to do something better. So I guess as long, before the summer's up, just stay tuned.
Yo, y'all heard it first, man. These are boys. I got excited. I'm chubby and I'm hungry now. Next question.
My question's for Andy. Shame is probably, arguably, your most vulnerable record you've ever written or sang. Or what, in your opinion, is the hardest part, or better, what is your biggest fear about being so vulnerable on the record?
Great question.
Yeah, that's a good question, man. I remember writing that record. It was like we did a trip to the Pacific Northwest to like rent out an Airbnb and just stay there. And I had started working on the chords and the chorus, and I knew like what I was gonna talk about, but I knew I had to like be in the right place to write it, because you don't just like casually write that song while you're hanging out with your friends. You gotta like go there emotionally and pull that stuff out. So I think the hardest part for me, it isn't actually sharing it. It's like going there emotionally to pull it out and write it. Sharing it, I think anytime you're vulnerable, the fear is probably that people would make fun of you. Yeah, people would just be like, you know, just crack jokes or use it against you. But what I've found to be true is that when you're vulnerable, you think it'll push people away, but the opposite is true, is that people actually come closer. And you know, I think that's true also in like relationships, you know, our relationship with God, our relationship with people. Vulnerability is actually a thing that reminds us that we're a lot more alike than we are different. It's somebody told me this, strength divides, but weakness unites. And I just think that's true.
Dope. All right, we got a question for Atlanta's own 1K
Thank you,
Few.
Andy.
Okay, KK. All right, so sir.
Alright, so my name's Alec. My question is for you, Mr. Few. Yes, sir. I've been a fan of you since day one, before you were even signed on Reach. My question is about your newest album, What's Understood, and what inspired the track of What's Golden Ticket.
That's the first time somebody asked me about Golden Ticket. Growing up, one of my favorite movies, y'all heard of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies. And a lot of crazy, they always be like, man, he's so old, bro. He got old, so old. He wasn't even born when I was out. I wasn't born when I was out.
He was a 67-year-old man in a 24-year-old.
No cap. Hey, but no, I just feel like we out here for a purpose. Like we out here, we're not here for no reason. You feel what I'm saying? So we gotta always follow our purpose. And no matter what God gives you, like that golden ticket, quote unquote, like you gotta use it. You gotta run with it. Like you can't take it for granted. You just gotta walk in it. Like you can't ask no questions. You're gonna go through trials and tribulations, but you just, no matter where you're going, you just gotta keep your eyes on the prize. Because when Charlie got that ticket from the gas station, everybody was trying to stop him. Like Charlie, run, Charlie. You gotta keep going, man. Because at the end of the day, God gonna answer your prayers. He's gonna come through every time.
Okay. We got a question for K. Hasta la segunda letra. That's a Spanish mix.
So I was just wondering if you remember me from my family picnics that you used to come to back in the day, from Becca and Cliff, KB. Yep.
Yeah, segunda letra means second letter. Yeah.
Oh, don't question my Spanish, brother. It's amazing. I'm sorry, go ahead. Go again.
I was just wondering, do you remember coming to my family picnics? It was you, Becca, Cliff, HGA. I used to get into debates.
In Tampa?
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember those picnics. We played flag football and stuff.
Yep, basketball, all that. All right. So I wasn't a believer then, and now I am. But
Praise God.
And I remember y'all like getting into passionate debates and all of that, and it's always stuck with me. So I just want to know, in the last 10 years, like, what are any lessons that you've learned, or like, how do you feel you've evolved since then?
Oh man, over the last 10 years?
Those debates still happen.
The last 10 minutes is every day. First of all, I'm just really encouraged by that, and I praise God for what he's doing in your life. I'll be 30 seconds. One thing I think the Lord is showing me is that though I like language, I like articulating myself and thinking and trying to reason out of things or into things, that it's not my ability to speak well that changes people's hearts. And that if I'm having a conversation with somebody, whether it's a conflict or I'm trying to win somebody to Christ, that ultimately it's going to be the work of the Spirit and not my abilities. So the older I get, the more I learn that I am not in control, that my control is a myth, my strength is a myth, that it has always been God, it will always be God, and as soon as I can trust Him to do the work, the less frustrated I'm going to be.
All right, we're down to our last two questions. This question is coming from Ray Rock. Oh, that's me. Trip, so you just recently released a single, okay? And I really want to know, when can we expect some more heaters, please?
Yes, good question.
He needs an album. When you gonna do an album? An album.
Thank you, Tadashi. That's exactly how I felt.
I knew he didn't need actual heaters in his house. Clarification. I'm working on new music now, so I'm excited about that. And I would also like to say that for all of the people who harass me on social media every day, no matter what I do, I'm like, hey, my daughter just had a birthday. Like, shut up, when's your new music coming? I just want to say I hear you, and it's coming.
Okay, we got our last question here. Who's your question for? KB. La segunda letra.
So my name is Paris. So my question is about spoken word, and I just feel like you'd be so dope at it. But I was just wondering if you'd ever collab with P4CM or like go do poetry with them and genetics and I don't know.
You're such a great writer and a poet. Wow. Do you see yourself doing anything in the near future?
Thank you for the compliment. I know all those people, they're friends of mine, and what they do is just way above my mind just doesn't work as well as theirs, unfortunately, so I just gotta stick to my humble raps. But I support the poetry community. I think Propaganda's here somewhere as well.
Yeah. All right, guys, I need you guys to make some noise for the 116.